By the power invested in me, I now put this session under commencement, wherein the parties KFC and BMW will be arguing their opinion on a signboard, which they think should be amended. I will now put the subject under the case of 1006945. The floor is now open.
With great gratitude, Madam Speaker, Comrade, I would humbly like to appreciate and say that I feel honored to get this opportunity to raise my opinion together with my colleague in Parliament. I Thembinkosi Sibongiseni Thulasizwe Khonzi Nkosi Zondi and my colleague Zodwa. Thank you, Comrade. Are here to raise our points on why we should keep those signboards with black kids, Comrade. Because apparently our oppositions, KFC, have been arguing why it's been black and still black.
Your name, me, Graham Michaels, and Johannes Jacobus Cornelius Herminicanus Skifskovsky. We feel that this sign is a real outrage and something must be done about it, see.
Your Honor, on behalf of the Kulula Freedom Confederation, we would like to voice our opinions because we can't tolerate this. This is we also fought and we fought our rights.
And it's rubbish. Me and him, we've been working since we were boys. We've just felt it that we'll one day want to leave the country, and now we can't even voice our own opinions. But some guy living down in a shanty town has got more rights than us, So we just thought we'd take this matter to the courts, just deal with it so that there's a fair 50-50 for each of the parties, so that we can each get our say and that the right decision can be made.
Now we will hear BMW's part of the journey as to what do they say about these charges brought forward by KFC. The floor is now open to BMW.
What we have realized is that in these situations, as a black woman who is economically lamed, we know that cars have lights, and at night your lights will be shining on the signs. So therefore the black will be visible by the reflection of the car lights.
Rejection. I mean, look at this. If you look at K53 in itself, this book in its rectangular form, it shows us all the rules of driving, and you can see here that some cars headlights, they're not really that good at shining on the side of the road. They're more concentrated on the front, to show you where you're driving. If I'm driving back to the place at night, and I'm driving at quite a steady lick, how do you expect me to see a black signboard? My eyes aren't that good. Now I've got to go and waste money on buying contact lenses. The stuff costs, and I could be allergic to it all. Old Enriquez here, guy's got eye problems, and how do you expect him to see? No, and you get these old black people with cataract infections, How do you expect them to see that signboard? We're not talking about a racial thing here. This is about what's right for people, What's the best thing for them? I mean, look at the statistics of road accidents in South Africa, I'm telling you, guys. I mean, we could be bringing down that number by a few zeros,
Raising the topic of K53, I have found out on my report that that book was written by an Afrikaner. We all know that they are liars and that they remind us of our rapist past.
Since when on earth is Jabulani Lutuli Afrikaner? If that were true, I'd end my life right now.
They're changing the person's names as well now.
No, look at that. Say, changing names on books.
Maybe
Say,
your name will soon be Jacob Zuma. Or
look
something.
at that. Say, why would I want to be called Jay-Z? I mean, it's like me calling my dog Teabag. It's just not common sense. And as Honorable Mrs. Speaker has said that we've got a strong point, and I think she has to bring forward the proof of Afrikaner names on here, and I think we've all forgotten the rapist part. That's past.
So the money that it will take to change the signs, all the cost of the paint, will be a few billions, 20 billion. And therefore, I suggest we rather use this money for public work programs and industrial development zones.
As my colleague has said here, that changing the signs may cost us quite a few billions. I would also suggest that we use the money to enhance the lives of the poor and especially the SMMEs, encouraging entrepreneurship in our country, which will come about increasing our production, which is exactly what we want in our country in terms of growth. So, comrades, looking at the perspective of GDP, I really think that we do not need to use or abuse this money on changing unnecessary things.
No, that's rubbish, that's rubbish. Look at it this way, I mean, wouldn't we all like donate a few grand just to save one life? Mr. Tokyo 6 how much money is he spending on this new railway station from Joburg to Durbs to Cape Town just to stop accidents? You could use all that money to change the signs.
Yeah, I drive to work every day in my Fortuner, and I see the name changes, all sorts of names that don't even fit on the boards. All these Matiki Zelar and all sorts. So why do you change those signs? But when it comes to people's lives, you don't want to change the signs. So I say we should maybe definitely try to.
This thing that we're changing names, it is our country. We have the right to change names and no longer have Afrikaner names that remind us of our rapist past of white people.
Yes, we understand what they're trying to say. What KFC is saying is that we could bring the run rate down of deaths if the signs were turned to white. But what the BMW is trying to say is that our constitution is black, and so because it is black, therefore our signs have to be black.
We know local is lekker, but not on the signs, please. So yeah, my potty is full of ideas which can bring us forward, and yeah, we want to just implement these changes. Alright.
And with that, we just like to say, vote KFC, because with this, you have seen what we could do as a nation in one argument. Thank you guys.
Listening to what both these parties have to say, I could conclude that from the KFC side, that taking the money which the the government uses to change street names from Jan Smuts Avenue to Jabu Xulu Avenue or Jabu Xulu Street is a valid reason, but I rather support the BWE. And to the BMWs, I've got to say that I am fully behind you all the way. I will fully support you in this time, but you know there's always a but to the matter. That I say that, but I am also not behind you in the way that you say that the signboards must stay black because black is beautiful. I now conclude with that. Right now we don't have a conclusion, and we shall postpone this on the agenda till tomorrow in English and tomorrow ngesizulu. Thank you very much. The court is now dismissed. With the power invested in me, I now condone this court.